And I think I've got some other things, some other cats I want to skin, some other things I want to get into.
Well, I mean, what does extended vacation mean?
To quote Stevie Nicks, I think I have to go my own way.
Everyone remembers Aaron Kaufman as Richard Rawlings' right-hand man at Gas Monkey Garage, the calm genius who could build anything. His sudden exit from Fast and Loud left fans with more questions than answers.
Do you want to hang out and build this race car, or are you wanting to go now?
I am now. I've got a couple things rolling already, and so it's time to go.
Now the truth is coming out. It's a story that involves much more than creative differences. You'll be shocked by the details of how two other fan favorites were shown the door. But the most stunning revelation is the personal and professional line that was crossed, forcing Aaron to abandon the empire he helped build. A tale of two exits. The unexpected departure of two fan favorites from Fast and Loud showed just how much viewers connect with the stars of their favorite shows. They aren't just watching for the entertainment, they feel a real bond with the people on screen.
Now, this old pig just won't start. So Jason went ahead and got the carburetor cleaned out, put back on.
Such a child.
We blew out the fuel lines. The line's clear. What's that? I said there's a lion in here. So this caddy should be ready for a proper Gas Monkey test drive.
When those people leave, it can feel like a personal loss. That's the incredible power of television. It brings people into our homes and lives, making them feel like family. As for Aaron and his former colleagues Tom and Jordan, only they know the full and true reasons for their departures. Unless they decide to share every last detail, fans may never get the complete story. But one thing is for certain, their absence was deeply felt, and for many, the show just wasn't the same without them. Believe it or not, before Aaron's shocking exit, two other key players had already vanished from Gas Monkey Garage, Tom Smith and Jordan Butler. Their departure was a big deal, but it didn't create the seismic shockwave that Aaron's did. Maybe it's because Aaron had such a deep connection with Richard Rawlings in the very core of the garage. The news about Tom and Jordan leaving hit the fans hard. These guys weren't just background mechanics, they were skilled, funny, and seemed to love their jobs. So when they suddenly disappeared, it just didn't add up. Rumors started flying because, let's face it, it's hard to believe that key people would just walk away from a hit TV show without a pretty solid reason. At first, a lot of people refused to believe the news. They chalked it up to online gossip. But then, as more and more websites started reporting the same thing, the reality set in. Tom and Jordan were really gone.
Everybody knows we got fired from Gas Monkey, which isn't a good subject with me because that is the only job I've ever gotten fired from. And the reasoning I got fired from, not really a good one. If it was a good one, I wouldn't be all upset about it.
The news spread like wildfire, and fans scrambled to figure out why. It's funny when you think about it, how people handle this kind of news. Some fans went into complete denial. They couldn't imagine Fast and Loud without Tom and Jordan. Psychologists have a name for this. It's called confirmation bias. People prefer to stick with what they know and reject information that goes against their beliefs. That's why some fans held on to the hope that the news was fake, even as evidence mounted. When the departure was finally confirmed, it was a tough pill to swallow. People felt like they were losing a part of their TV family. Tom and Jordan were more than just mechanics. Their energy made the show about more than just cars. For a while, the real reason remained a mystery. It's common in the TV world for people to keep quiet about why they leave a job. Sharing personal issues or disagreements can just stir up more drama. But eventually, Tom Smith decided to sit down for an interview with TMZ. Many thought he'd confirm the popular rumor that he and Jordan left to start their own show. But Tom had a different, more explosive story to share.
Now I am surrounded by a collection of like-minded individuals with a common goal, a common cause, and we're going to rock and roll this thing, and we're going to show the world that you can have fun.
He revealed that he and Jordan were actually let go by Richard Rawlings. The interviewer gently pressed for details, and Tom finally opened up about the incident that led to their dismissal. It all centered around Richard's prized Rolls-Royce. Tom explained that while Richard owns a lot of cars, his Rolls-Royce is his baby. He treasures it and keeps it safe at the garage. One day, a visitor who was dealing with a serious lung condition came to visit. At the end of his tour, he asked if he could take a photo next to the Rolls-Royce. Tom, thinking it was a simple, harmless request to make a fan happy, agreed immediately. He knew Richard loved the car, but he never imagined a simple photo would be a problem. That was a huge mistake. When Richard saw the photo, he was beyond upset. Tom described an angry outburst with unpleasant words that shocked everyone.
The best thing that happened to me was getting fired by that guy. I mean, I'm happier, I'm calmer. The inside of my lip isn't bleeding anymore from me chewing on it. And every day I was restraining myself from putting my hand in the back of his neck.
Tom believed their job was to make fans happy, but he quickly realized Richard did not share that view. After Richard raised his voice, Tom couldn't hold back and responded angrily. Jordan backed Tom up, which only made the situation worse. In that moment, Richard Rawlings decided he'd had enough and dismissed both of them on the spot. This single incident became the catalyst for their departure and fueled speculation for months. The story gets even more interesting from there. The soul of a builder. With the drama of Tom and Jordan's exit laid bare, the focus inevitably shifted back to Aaron Kaufman. If Richard could let go of two key guys over a photo, what could have possibly happened with his number one, his right-hand man? Aaron's departure was even more confusing because he and Richard weren't just colleagues, they were presented to the world as close friends. There were no obvious public arguments, which made his sudden decision to leave so perplexing. For a long time, people assumed the reason must have been a massive falling out, similar to what happened before. But when Aaron finally spoke, he revealed a completely different story. It wasn't about one explosive moment. It was about a slow, creeping dissatisfaction that ate away at his passion.
Well, you know, we've been working here under unbelievable deadlines, unbelievable pressure for at least the last 5 years. And to be quite frank, I'm ready to get things back to a bit more of a normal timeline. I don't feel the need to deliver cars every couple of weeks. I would like to build a couple things at my own pace.
The main issue, according to Aaron, started with the cars themselves. The show, and by extension the network, had a formula. They needed builds that were fast, easy to complete, and could be turned around quickly to fit into a television season. This cookie-cutter approach kept the show moving and the viewers engaged, but for a master craftsman like Aaron, it was soul-crushing. He felt the relentless deadlines and focus on simple builds were preventing him from doing the complex, innovative work he truly loved. He was a creator being forced to work on an assembly line. Deep down, Aaron wanted to work on bigger, more challenging projects. He had a childhood dream of building massive, powerful trucks, vehicles that were a world away from the quick-flip hot rods the show was known for. He knew the network would never agree to slow down the pace. A single, year-long build doesn't make for exciting weekly television. Feeling stuck between a rock and a hard place, he started to realize that to follow his true passion, he would have to leave the show. But walking away wasn't simple. It's one thing to have a dream, but it's another to leave a secure, high-paying job on a hit international TV show.
The things that you want in life, if you see where they're happening, I do mean physically and metaphorically, put yourself in line for the opportunity to find you and be prepared to take it on.
He didn't want to look like he was running away or burning bridges. So he stayed on, waiting for the right moment, all while feeling more and more out of place. It's funny when you think about it. Before his fame on Fast and Loud, Aaron worked at a local garage in Dallas where he felt just as limited. His incredible skills were being wasted until Richard Rawlings discovered him. That meeting changed his life. Richard was blown away by Aaron's talent, and their professional relationship blossomed into a powerhouse partnership that launched the show. Aaron never forgot where he came from, which made him careful and thoughtful about his next move. As time went on, the more he tried to fit into the show's format, the more he felt like an imposter. He was losing a part of himself with every quick and dirty build. He brought up his feelings with his team, hoping to find some common ground, but it became clear that his vision was completely different from the show's direction. He was an artist, and the show was a business. The two were no longer compatible. This realization pushed him to carefully plan his exit, making sure he didn't hurt his friends or leave the garage in a tough spot. He slowly put his plan into motion, and when the time was right, he made his announcement.
I know maybe it puts you in a bad position, but I'm really not in a position to come back and help or work on it at all. I'm already out the door.
The move sent shockwaves through the fan base, but Richard Rawlings wasn't entirely surprised. He had seen the signs of Aaron's growing unhappiness, especially his lack of enthusiasm for the smaller car projects. When Aaron Kaufman, the bearded wonder, left Gas Monkey Garage, it truly felt like the end of an era. For years, fans have said that while the show continued, no one could ever really fill his shoes. But his dream of building bigger trucks was only part of the story. When cameras stopped rolling. While Aaron's desire for creative freedom was a huge factor, it wasn't the whole story. As it turns out, the relationship between him and Richard Rawlings had become much more strained than anyone knew. In later interviews, Aaron opened up more, hinting at serious disagreements that went far beyond the choice of which cars to build. These weren't minor issues. They were significant enough to break down their working relationship and their friendship. Aaron, being a class act, never went into all the gritty details, but he made it clear that serious problems existed. The picture-perfect partnership viewers saw on TV had developed serious cracks behind the scenes.
What the fuck, dude? We've been here doing this for 14 years.
The last 5 felt like 20.
That is definitely something I didn't expect.
It's a classic story in any high-pressure environment, whether it's a rock band or a reality TV show. Success puts an immense strain on relationships. What starts as a fun project between friends can turn into a massive business with network executives, deadlines, and millions of dollars on the line. The constant push to finish cars for filming, for auctions, and for premieres created a non-stop high-stress environment. At some point, the fun was gone, replaced by a relentless grind. He was simply burned out. This is where things get a bit more speculative, but if you read between the lines of his interviews, you can piece it together. Besides the creative and professional disagreements, personal issues had crept in. When you work that closely with someone, under that much pressure, small annoyances can grow into major conflicts. It's suggested that Richard, as the owner and face of the brand, was focused on building the Gas Monkey empire: restaurants, merchandise, other TV shows. Aaron, on the other hand, was purely a builder. He cared about the metal, the engineering, and the craft. Their fundamental goals were diverging. Richard was building a brand. Aaron wanted to build legendary cars. Believe it or not, some reports suggest a key point of conflict was ownership and recognition. Aaron was the lead builder, the genius behind the creations.
Before, the axle lived underneath the frame, and now, because of our dramatically altered ride height and much larger wheels and tires, we're actually going to ride at where the frame rail used to be.
But Fast and Loud was the Richard Rawlings show. At the end of the day, it was Richard's garage and Richard's name on the sign. While Aaron became a star in his own right, perhaps he felt he deserved more of a stake, more control, or at least more say in the direction of the builds that were making the show a hit. It's a common tale of the lead guitarist wanting to step out from the shadow of the lead singer. Aaron's craving for innovation and new challenges was the driving force, but feeling unappreciated or unheard would have been the fuel on the fire. He was tired of the repetitive work and longed for the freedom to pursue the projects he was truly passionate about without having to ask for permission. He was ready to be his own boss, to call his own shots, forging his own path. After leaving the whirlwind of Fast and Loud, Aaron Kaufman wasted no time. He wasn't just leaving a job, he was launching a dream. He set out to create his own garage, a place built entirely on his own terms. His new venture, ArcLight Fabrication, was born. From the get-go, his mission was clear: to build the big, powerful trucks he was denied the chance to build at Gas Monkey. He immediately started looking for people who shared his vision for creating large, high-quality, and meticulously engineered vehicles. He scoured the country for the best talent, hand-picking a team that could help him bring his ambitious projects to life. Amazingly, ArcLight Fabrication started off on a strong footing. Aaron's reputation preceded him, and he was fortunate enough to attract several investors right from the beginning. Now here's a wild twist in the story. Rumors have persisted for years that one of those investors was none other than Richard Rawlings. It's funny when you think about it. Richard has a history of investing in businesses run by his former employees, whether they left on good terms or were let go. He's a sharp businessman who can spot a good opportunity, and he knew Aaron's talent was a sure bet. This potential investment adds a fascinating layer of complexity to their relationship, suggesting that despite their differences, a level of professional respect, or at least a good business sense, remained.
All right, kick ass. What can we do?
You want me to go tell the guys?
Damn, dude. What?
You want me to tell the guys?
No, man, let me handle that. They're gonna be under enough freaked out pressure now anyways.
I understand.
With his shop up and running, Aaron made a brilliant strategic decision. Instead of trying to be everything to everyone, he chose to specialize. He knew that trying to work on all kinds of big cars might spread his resources too thin. So he decided to focus on a niche he was incredibly passionate about. This is a key lesson for any entrepreneur. Find your niche and own it. Aaron's lifelong passion has always been for Ford trucks, specifically the F-Series models built from 1957 to 1979. He made these vintage, dent-side and bump-side Fords the centerpiece of his business, aiming to become the #1 guy in the world for aftermarket parts and complete builds for these classic trucks. Was Aaron's split from Gas Monkey a brave move for artistic freedom, or the inevitable end of a partnership that had simply run its course? Let us know your thoughts below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more untold stories.